Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Welcome to Accelerated Health with Sara Banta. I'm a wife, mom of 3, and an NA&P certified supplement professional. But that's not all. I'm also the founder of the most innovative health supplement company 4 years in a row, Accelerated Health Products. We are a brand offering innovative, natural, scalar-enhanced supplements to optimize your health. And this podcast is not just a source of information. We are a community. We're all here to learn and grow on our health journeys, regardless of where you are today. And this podcast is the springboard to learning. And the free group coaching on Telegram is where we continue learning together. You can ask your questions. I post tips and tools to keep you moving forward every single day. So here's what you can expect. New episodes every Monday and Wednesday with in-depth health discussions and expert guests. Hot topics that are in the news every Friday to keep things fun. And then, of course, followed up with the free group coaching. And you can find the details on my website at SaraBantaHealth.com. Well, have you thought about detoxing? And you might want to after today's topic, but you're a little worried. You don't want those detox flu symptoms. You don't want to be put on a liquid diet. I promise you I won't do that. Well, I've created over 10 unique, easy detox cleanse programs. You eat real food, and they will help reset your body while feeling great. Just get yourself pooping with the colon cleanse. You might need the kidney cleanse, the parasite or candida cleanse. You definitely need the liver flush cleanse a few times a year, and you may want to try the accelerated diet cleanse, which is the big one, resetting your brain, your gut, your hormones, your weight loss plateau, all the things. Just take the detox quiz at SaraBantaHealth.com to find out which one's right for you. And maybe you don't want to do a detox. Maybe you just want to start with 1, 2, 3 supplements and don't know where to start. Complete my health goals form, and I will personally put together a free supplement protocol just for you. Just by taking a few steps forward with your health, you will change your life. And the difference is I'm here every step of the way. Today, we are talking about some of those toxins. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be totally honest. I eat organic as much as I can. I don't really drink alcohol. I exercise, I sauna, I do all the things. And my body just got scanned, and there's stuff in there still. We've got all of these toxins we're living with. We've got fluoride in our water. We've got air pollution. We've got GMOs, glyphosate, that are even infiltrating themselves into the organic food we're trying to eat. So we're all being exposed. Today, we're talking about endocrine disruptors. These are the hidden hormone wreckers. You're wondering why, God, I just can't lose that weight. I'm down to 1,200 calories. I'm working out. I'm sleeping. I'm doing all the things, and nothing's budging. I have chronic inflammation. My brain fog is worse than ever. My vision is bad. My hair's falling out. I feel water retention. I'm bloated. I'm constipated, and nothing's changed. Well, we have these things that are infiltrating our systems that we don't even know, and they're related to our hormones. So if you've ever wondered why you're so tired despite getting enough sleep, why the scale won't budge even when you're eating clean, why your brain feels foggy even after that coffee, they might be contributed by these endocrine disruptors. You may have heard the term, but unless you've really dug in, you might not really know what it's doing. They are not obscure chemicals from a lab over in China. They're in our shampoos. They're at the receipts that you're getting from the market that you're touching. Remember, your skin is your largest detox organ. It also absorbs everything. So your diet isn't just about the food and drink you take in. It's the air, and it's what you're putting on your skin. They're coming from all the things, and they don't just go into the body and disappear. Now, 40 years ago, when we didn't have as much, Did they come into our body and disappear? Yes, because our liver and our kidneys could detox them much easier. Now we have so many that our bodies don't know what to do. What they do is they mimic your hormones, the bad estrogens. They block your receptors. So they make your receptors less sensitive to the real hormones. They scramble your biological signals in a way that affect everything from your energy to your fertility, to your PMS symptoms, to your menopausal symptoms, to that waistline. Your waistline and that weight gain around the belly is from stress. And we're going to get into that in a little bit. But if your body's stressed, it doesn't know if it's coming from an endocrine disruptor or if you're being chased by a tiger or if you're going to face a famine for 5-6 months. So it's going to protect those expensive organs around your gut and actually put an extra layer of protective survival fat around of it. So this is the empowering part, that you can do something about it. And that's where I come in. But first, let's get into what they are and should you care. So your endocrine system is your body's communication network. It's made up of glands and hormones, and it keeps your body running smoothly. We're talking about your metabolism, reproduction, mood, sleep, immune system, blood sugar, and even your ability to handle that stress. So it's not just the stress that you're dealing with, but it's your perceived stress, how you can filter it in the body and say, oh, that's not a big deal, or oh my gosh, I'm going to die, right? So it is truly going to affect everything. And your endocrine system, your master endocrine gland is your thyroid. Your thyroid controls your adrenals, and it also controls your gonads and your sex hormones. There's the hypothalamus pituitary thyroid axis that controls the HPA axis, the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis, and the HPG axis, the hypothalamus pituitary gonadal axis. They're all talking to each other. So when you have these disruptors, the wheels come off. Your thyroid says, okay, threat. I'm going to take that T4, inactive thyroid hormone, and turn it into reverse T3, which is your survival thyroid hormone. We want it to be converting into free T3. Your free T3 is your fat burning, your metabolism. I've got tons of energy hormone. Reverse T3 says, shut down. I'm not getting enough food coming into my system. I need to store everything as fat. I need to slow down that metabolism. I need to focus on my organs, get rid of the hair. I don't care about the hair and the nails and the skin. And you just don't feel good. So then also, if you're under stress or if you're going to face a famine, your body doesn't want to produce a baby. So fertility goes down. And then you have inflammation. That inflammation could present itself as horrific PMS symptoms or worsened hot flashes or that water retention, slow digestion. We don't need to worry about digestion when we're being chased by a tiger. We're shutting that system down. We don't need to poop if we're being chased by a tiger, right? No one wants to do a pit stop when we're being chased by a tiger. We're going to get constipated. All those things start shutting down. So these endocrine disruptors are chemicals, either synthetic or naturally occurring, and they interfere with the system. They mimic those real hormones. They're tricking your body into thinking there's too much estrogen. They block the hormone receptors, so the receptors are less communicative with the hormones. So it's like insulin resistance. Well, you're hormone resistant. The cells are not listening. You're making a cell phone call underwater, and there's no communication. There's no signal. It's interfering with the hormone production and the breakdown, leading to chaos. They're often small, persistent compounds. Your body doesn't break down them easily because your body's not meant to. Your body's not meant to be ingesting these chemicals. So that means they stick around, especially in the fat tissue and your organs and your liver and your brain. So the fat cells, their job is to hold on to all these toxins and get them out of the blood. Your fat cells are not just about eating sugar and going out for donuts. Your fat cells are a survival mechanism. We can store as much fat in our body as we want, or as your body wants, to protect it for survival, to get those toxins out of the blood. So how do these endocrine disruptors wreak havoc? Well, there's 6 ways. Number 1, they cripple that thyroid. Remember, the thyroid is the master endocrine gland. So we're going to start out with this. It is your metabolism, your temperature, your cognitive function, and your energy. So the endocrine disruptors like fluoride and bromine replace or displace iodine. Now, most of you are iodine deficient. We've got fluoride in our water, in our toothpaste, in our medication, in anything that has fluoro in its name. The PFAs, the forever chemicals that are in our makeup and our shampoos and our lotions. We've got it in our nonstick pans, right? You've got it in your medications. Take a look at your medication. Does it have the fluoro in it? That's fluoride. Fluoride makes you dumb. Fluoride causes brain fog. There's studies now that the fluoride in the water is dumbing our kids and shutting down their IQ. That's why it's such a hot topic, and the government is actually trying to get the fluoride out of the water. I just went to the dentist, and even the dentists are now thinking, oh, maybe we shouldn't be doing fluoride. So it is definitely a hot topic because it is known to be that endocrine disruptor. And it will fill those iodine receptor sites just like iodine would if there's no iodine there. There's a nice little home for that fluoride, bromide from the fire retardants that are in our, when we have fires, like in California we just did, they dump bromide to put out the fires. But also it's in our clothing, our couches, our furniture, all of that. It's everywhere. And then, of course, chlorine. Chlorine's in our water and our pools. We're all being exposed to all of these endocrine disruptors. And when you don't have enough iodine in your body to kick out those halogens that look just like iodine in that chemical, on that periodic table, go back to chemistry class, iodine, fluoride, bromide, chlorine, they all look the same. So this is where that concept of halogen displacement or chemical displacement comes in. So if you don't have enough of iodine there, these other substances are going to fill those receptor sites. And if you have plenty of iodine in your body, then these other halogens, toxins, are going to be kicked out of the body. And your body, it's like, yeah, I can deal with this. I'm just going to kick it out and not let it stay and make a place as its home in my body. So without iodine and with these halogens coming in, you might be experiencing fatigue, brain fog, forgetfulness, cold intolerance. That's a huge sign of hypothyroidism. Sluggish digestion, dry, thinning hair, your eyebrows are thinning, constipation, waking with no dietary changes. So this long-term iodine deficiency from these disruptors can trigger autoimmune conditions like Hashimoto's or lead to goiters, thyroid nodules. The biggest offenders, the fluoride in the tap water and toothpaste. Get rid of your toothpaste with fluoride. The brominated baked goods, the PFAs, the perchlorate in fertilizers, the BPAs in plastics. What are you drinking out of? The plastic water bottle? Okay, so that is number 1. Number 2, these endocrine disruptors hijack your metabolism and make you store fat. They confuse your metabolic regulators, namely that insulin and leptin. Insulin is to shuttle the glucose into the cells. But if these fat cells are full of toxins, there's no room for that glucose to get in. And insulin starts knocking at the cell. Cell says, sorry, I'm full. I either need to make new fat cells or expand the fat cells, and I'm just going to become resistant and not listen to this signal. It's like when the mom continues to yell at the child and the child just starts to tune mom out. But then dad comes in, says something, and the child listens, right? Well, that is insulin resistance. And then also you've got leptin resistance. So leptin is that hormone that tells you you're full. I don't need to binge. I don't need to keep eating because I'm full. Well, your body stops listening to that signal and becomes less sensitive to it when you have these endocrine disruptors wreaking havoc in the body. This leads to weight gain, especially around that belly. That is that stress weight gain, intense cravings, and blood sugar swings because the leptin's not talking. You're not listening to that leptin. And that stubborn fat that won't budge, even when you are eating clean and you're exercising, doing all the things. You also can't build lean muscle. Your body's eating away at its own muscle for nutrients. What are the common culprits? The BPA from cans, from receipts. Don't touch your receipts when you go to the market or the stores. Pesticides, artificial sweeteners that have no calories, and then the non-organic soy, non-organic in general. So number 3, they drive estrogen dominance, not just in women, but you men. Testosterone levels are shot, right? I had this conversation with a friend about college boys. They're not getting up off the couch. They're not doing the things boys normally do. They want to just hang out and watch TV and scroll Instagram. Where's their drive? Where's their testosterone? It is plummeted, and it's causing low muscle mass and, man boobs, all the things. And then in women, these xenoestrogens, which mimic the real estrogen in the body, elevate that estrogen level beyond what your body can regulate. Your liver cannot flush out and deal with these estrogen, bad estrogens, leading to estrogen dominance. And it throws progesterone and testosterone out of balance. So in the women, you've got PMS symptoms, horrible, right? So you have all of these really young girls that are being put on birth control, not for birth control, but just for painful periods. And that's setting them up for a lifetime of hormonal issues, infertility, worsened menopausal symptoms, even maybe possible higher risk of cancer. This is a big deal. You want to deal with it naturally, not just throw medication at it. And so in women, you've got the heavy, painful periods, mood swings and irritability, fibroids, endometriosis, PCOS, ovarian cysts. Those things are skyrocketing. Fertility struggles, and then the worsened menopausal symptoms like hot flashes. So it's really interesting. Menopause, you're not supposed to have any symptoms. We have symptoms because of our modern day toxicity. And I bet that our grandmas did not have the symptoms that we're experiencing today because they didn't have the toxins and they did not have the processed foods. Processed foods now account for 70% of the American diet. Processed foods are full of toxins that have no calories. The artificial sweeteners, GMOs, glyphosate, all of those things have no calories, but they make you fat. Why? Because the body needs to store these toxins somewhere where the liver and the kidneys are not flushing them out. So you've got the plastics, the soy, conventionally raised dairy and meat, synthetic fragrances. And are you putting that perfume right on your thyroid? Well, that could be making you fat. That could be slowing down your thyroid. Loss of libido, fat gain around the chest and abdominal area. Number 4, they burn out your adrenals. Remember, the thyroid affects the adrenals. Your adrenal glands are in charge of cortisol. This is the hormone that manages your stress and inflammation. Cortisol is great. Cortisol gets you out of bed in the morning, and then it comes down so you can go to sleep. But chronic cortisol, which most of us are suffering from, with fight or flight just constantly going, our cortisol plummets and it gets all out of whack. So you're wired but tired. You can't go to sleep. You can't get up in the morning. Everything gets reversed, causes inflammation throughout the body. And your adrenals go into overdrive when you're exposed to these disruptors, and you crave sugar and caffeine all day because you need energy. But guys, it's like taking out extra money out of your credit card or putting it on your credit card. There's no money in the bank. You have to pay at some point. It's not just free. So when you're using the caffeine and the sugar, and I love my cup of coffee, but if I start needing that third cup of coffee, I take a moment and I say, wait a second, we need to address the deeper issue here. And why don't I have energy? You also have unstable mood. You're always coming down with something. You're always sick. So what are the triggers? Air fresheners, the fragrances, caffeine overuse, the food additives, blue light exposure at night from our cell phones that are attached to our bodies. Number 5, these endocrine disruptors cloud your mind and your mood. The hormones influence your neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin. Those are your happy hormones. When they are disrupted, you're going to feel more anxious and depressed and scattered, mentally foggy. Depression and anxiety through the roof. Our kids today, passing out the antidepressants like candy. Parents don't know what to do. We need to get to a deeper solution, not just passing out these medications, because they are toxins as well and just going to contribute to the issue. So are you someone that is anxious or depressed? You probably are full of these toxins that are dumbing down your brain and scrambling it. The neurotoxic disruptors include the fluoride that we talked about, aluminum, aspartame, MSG, the pesticides. They get in your brain and they change the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you remember. So they're going to cause future issues as well, that dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. So we're not just talking about how you feel today, we're talking about long-term effects. They damage your fertility and reproductive health, reduce sperm quality, interfere with ovulation, contribute to the reproduction system malformation in babies when exposed in the womb. So like I mentioned, the irregular cycles, PCOS, endometriosis, infertility and miscarriage, men, low sperm count, motility, hormonal imbalances, erectile dysfunction. Maybe now you're listening, because it's going to affect you in the bedroom. So you've got them in the baby bottles, the receipts, the plastic packaging. Yeah, what is your healthy organic food coming in? Is it wrapped in plastic, right? But you can't avoid them. They're everywhere. It's part of our life, but that does not mean you're helpless. So what can you do? You can filter your water. You can choose organic when possible. Swap out the personal care for cleaner options. Ditch the plastics. Don't use the synthetic fragrances. And you're also going to want to focus on a cleaner diet. And so when we're talking about diet, you want to focus on the wild animal protein, not the conventionally raised chicken and beef. You want to focus on the bison, the deer, elk, Cornish game hen, wild fish. And then with your fruits and vegetables, you want to focus on the ones that don't have oxalates or sulfur. The ones with oxalates are the healthy spinach, kale, almonds, nuts, berries, chocolates. Those can slow down your thyroid. They can inhibit the ability of the liver to do its job. The sulfur is in your medications. Sulfur is also in those healthy vegetables, the cruciferous vegetables, the broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, kale, once again. MSM, glutathione supplements, NAC. This is where sometimes supplements could backfire and back up your liver. Now, before, when our livers weren't so taxed with so many toxins, they could handle these vegetables and they were actually good for us. It's not the vegetable's fault. It's not the chicken's fault. The chicken has these misfolded proteins that the liver can't break down anymore. And our liver is where we break down and assimilate our fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. So if the liver's backed up, then nothing's working. So what else can we do? Of course, you want to exercise, sauna, sleep. Sleep is when your body's detoxing, but you also can use some supplements. I mentioned iodine. 96% of you are deficient in iodine. And we're all being exposed to these endocrine disruptors. The fluoride, chlorine, bromide. Iodine is non-negotiable. If I was on a deserted island and could take one supplement, it would be the acceleradine iodine. Now, this displaces, remember that concept of halogen or chemical displacement. It's where if you have plenty of one of them in you, there's no room for those endocrine disruptors to fill those receptor sites and then disrupt you. Your body will just let them go. So iodine is detoxing the fluoride, chlorine, and bromine out of the body. It reboots the thyroid hormone production, T3 and T4, which stands for 3 and 4 molecules of iodine, increases metabolism and energy naturally. So inside the cell, it is increasing the ATP inside the mitochondria. Your ATP is your energy, not the energy from caffeine or your coffee or your Monster drink or the Pringles, right? It is the true cellular energy. You also need iodine for that cell membrane, which is the brain of the cell, which actually controls the toxins coming out of the cells and your fat cells saying, oh, I can release these toxins. I can release some weight, and also the nutrients to come into the cells. The cell membrane has an iodolipid value, iodine lipid meaning iodine fat value. It's made up of saturated and unsaturated fats and then iodine. So you've got to have iodine for that cell membrane. And you also have to have those healthy fats. I love phosphatidylcholine to complement the iodine for cell membrane. Helps support immunity. Iodine is antiviral, antibacterial, antiparasitic, anti. It increases that H2O in your body. So it hydrates you without water. It's amazing. And then it also cleanses the blood so the liver can do its job. It also regulates the balance between estrogen and progesterone. Super important for your hormones. I take it daily. I recommend it for everybody. It should be that one supplement that you will never go without. If you're pregnant, you need more. If you're a child, you need more. So important for our children. It helps increase IQ. It defogs your brain. Number one cause of depression is iodine deficiency. Number one cause of mitochondrial failure, and we die when our mitochondria fails, is iodine deficiency. Most people on antidepressants have low thyroid. Most people have low thyroid because they're iodine deficient. So that's a number one. You might be able to get off your medication with that supplement. Number two, I just keep talking about liver. You gotta love your liver, right? And in the last year, I've had my own liver issues because of all of these toxins, even though I'm doing everything right. Well, of course, God made it so that I launched accelerated liver care right when I personally needed it most. My liver enzymes were through the roof. Within 2 weeks, they came down. We have created a liver supplement that goes way beyond anything else on the market. A lot of liver supplements have ingredients that have oxalates and sulfur in them. So they have ingredients that actually back up your liver. They have ingredients that may have more mold and bacteria than what you should be taking in. And because of that, your body's having to filter out those things too. beware of what other supplements have in them that is not listed on the label. The fillers, the mold and bacteria counts. With accelerated liver care, there is 0 fillers. And we've taken 13 amazing herbs with no oxalates, no endocrine disruptors, no sulfur, that work synergistically together and higher concentrations so that you're getting more bang for your buck, that detox the liver, restore the liver, help it function more effectively, flushes out those xenoestrogens from the pesticides, plastics, microplastics, the baby care products, all the things. It improves the conversion from T4 into the healthy metabolism T3. That happens mostly in the liver. We've included things like Tugka and milk thistle that you've heard of, but we've also included things like skullcap and palperera that no one's heard of. And there are other ingredients that boost the immune system. So it's also going to help with your immune system, as we are always under attack there as well. There's things in there too to help your skin and your hair, because if your liver's not working, you cannot process and assimilate the nutrients for your skin and your hair and your muscles. It supports the hormonal balance, and you will see a difference in your glow, in the whites of your eyes. It's also part of my accelerated liver flush cleanse that I recommend doing 3 to 4 times a year. And when we added it to the cleanse that has been around for 70 years, people noticed a difference in it being more effective in getting all those gallstones out of the body and into the toilet. Yes, you'll see them in the toilet. Now, to pair that, we want to make sure as you're detoxing, because remember, the iodine's going to kick out toxins, the accelerated liver care is going to kick out toxins, and we don't want to have any of those detox flu symptoms. We want to soak up all those toxins and carry them out gently away from burdening the liver and the kidneys. And that's where accelerated cellular detox powder comes in. Think of it as a vacuum for your gut. It traps the toxins so they don't get reabsorbed while healing the gut and the gut lining. It helps with Crohn's disease, inflammation, colitis in the gut. It binds to the endocrine disruptors, heavy metals, plastics. It removes ammonia and mold toxins. It includes zeolite, slippery elm, activated charcoal, triphala, chitosan, which that helps with taking out the excess dietary fat and cholesterol. How many of you have had their cholesterol go up and you haven't changed anything? That's liver and thyroid. Your thyroid, if it's sluggish, could cause your cholesterol to go up. And that's also going to make your liver sluggish. And then your liver can't process the cholesterol. So this will help with your cholesterol levels too. Lastly, accelerated thyroid. Because like I said, I believe not over 90% of you have suboptimal thyroid. I want you to go take your temperature. Is it 98.6? I bet it's not. Most of you are running at about 97, 97.4. That's not normal. So you cannot address endocrine disruption without supporting the thyroid. Remember, it is the master endocrine gland. So this formula blends and restores thyroid function and boosts the metabolism. We have included ingredients that I have personally been taking those ingredients for years in separate supplements, and we combined them and we made a formula with amazing synergy between them in the right ratios: freeze-dried thyroid glandular, L-tyrosine, adaptogens, an Ayurvedic herb like Kanchanara, which I love this. It detoxes the thyroid gland, helps balance the hormones, works on those thyroid nodules that you might have. It heats the body up. If you're cold all the time, dragging through the day, hair loss, that's all thyroid. So I wanted to give you hope, because we can't escape these endocrine disruptors. Now, I want you to try. I want you to clean up as much as possible, but you need to use diet, sleep, exercise, things like sauna and supplements in order to combat them. And you're going to feel great. I'm 49. I have more energy than I did when I was 20. And you can live that second half of your life with better quality than you did with your first. I promise you. Your body is struggling, and it's not because of a lack of willpower or it forgot how to work. Something's interfering. There's that static in your cell phone signal, right? So you can detox, rebuild, and thrive. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for listening, and our discussion does not have to stop here. If you don't know where to start, just start by getting your free supplement protocol at SaraBanta.com, and I will personally put together a protocol for you. Follow me on social media at Accelerated Health Products, and join the free group coaching on Telegram. It's free. I answer your questions. I post tips and tools daily, and this will keep you moving forward. It's part of an amazing group of like-minded people as well. You can find this podcast by searching Accelerated Health with Sara Banta on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, E360, iHeartRadio, Amazon, and over 100 different platforms. Spread the knowledge. Share this with your friends and family who think all of this stuff is, I don't need to worry about it. They need to know it's real. It's here. It's in the United States. And a lot of things that are legal in the United States are not even legal in Europe. You're hearing more about it on the news. You can use coupon code podcast10 to get 10% off your first order site-wide. And remember, I'm live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So join me next time for more ways to unlock your health potential.